I mean, do you think you're always predestined to be a martial artist? Do you think, what would you have liked to have become if the martial artist route had been denied, or your family wasn't involved in martial arts? Do you think you would always have found it eventually?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I have no idea. My whole life, martial arts has been there because of my father. So I can't even imagine a life without it. And where I would have went. My father is also a musician at heart. In fact, he kind of goes back and forth with between martial arts and music as far as which is his number one passion. And so probably if martial arts wasn't there, I would have went down the music road in some shape or form, still following my father's footsteps, so to speak. He tried to get me into music when I was younger, but I was just a fighter at heart. I preferred, training martial arts well over practicing any instrument that they tried to have me do. So, but I am a huge music lover, as I think we all are, especially hip hop. I'm a huge hip hop head. So some of my best friends are in the production world, and maybe I would have tried to go something down that route. But I believe I would have always searched for something athletically, just because I love to be active. And so with my height and the fact that I also loved basketball, maybe I would have tried to play basketball and do music or something like that.
Right. I mean, what kind of instruments would have been the attraction to you? Because is it your saxophone your father plays?
No, he plays the organ.
Organ.
Yeah, he's a classical organist, and so way outside the box, organ and martial arts. He's a one of a kind. But yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of classical music with my father. Bach is probably his favorite artist. But yeah, he's an organist, and they tried to have me. First, I believe it was the drums, which I barely remember. I was really, really little. And then he got me into the violin, trying to keep me somewhat in that more classical music realm that he enjoyed. And I absolutely hated the violin. Like, I hated it. And that only lasted about a year. And then he finally just gave in and just let me train martial arts all the time.
So you've talked quite a bit about before in other interviews about us finding our passions, discovering our whys in life and stuff like that. Where do you see guys going wrong, in your opinion? Is the fact that we no longer have these kind of rituals from like boys to men, is that where we've gone wrong? We've kind of removed how to find our passion. I mean, you discovered yours at an early life, but what advice would you give to somebody who's struggling to find their why and find out what they love and what they want to pursue in life?
Well, you're kind of asking a few different questions there.
I have that habit, unfortunately.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think finding your passion is going to be number one before you really find your why. Finding what you love to do, that takes some exploring. That takes some self-searching, not being scared to go outside the box, outside the norm of society or what your parents and the environment that you've came up in, what everyone around you is doing. What you may really, really love could be something completely outside of what everyone around you is doing and maybe loves to do. So, the exploring and soul searching could involve traveling, going on different little adventures to discover new things, try new things, and all that encompasses. But I believe everyone has something that is more or less their calling, that thing that they could do every day. And that's kind of where it would start, is like, if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do every day of your life? What do you love to do? How can you be creative? What can you create? What gets your juices flowing? what inspires you, what wakes you up, and makes you kind of lose track of time and everything else around you, to where you get lost in something. And once you find what that is, then that's your calling, and you should figure out a way to dedicate your life to that. Because in the end, doing anything else is not going to really make you happy. It's not really going to be fulfilling you, because you're just doing it to, pay the bills or have security, and more or less just kind of go through life, and so I think you have to discover that, figure out how, you can monetize that, seek out specialized knowledge from other professionals in that realm, find a mentor, and take the risk, get out of your comfort zone, invest in yourself, and just go all in on whatever that is, because it will always, always, always be worth it. 100%. There's no way it won't become worth it. And then inside of that, on that journey, once you discover what it is, and as you're making the decisions to go all in, then you discover your why. Exactly, whether it's, for family, maybe there's a little bit of an element of just proving to yourself that you can do it, and accepting that challenge. Maybe you're trying to set a new path, a new course for others to follow. Of course, deep down, I think we probably all want to make someone proud of us, if it's parents or some sort of other relative or guardian who was there for you and probably sacrificed a lot in some shape or form for you. And now you want to become successful and give back to them in some way. However it is, maybe you already have a family of your own, and you're trying to be an example for them and provide for them. Whatever it is, inside of all those decisions and kind of coming to moments, you need to be constantly reflecting and figuring out what your why is at every step of the way.